Hey guys, JH, welcome to Practice Tee. Okay. Oh, so title of today's video is the final protocol, this final channel lock protocol, but only for now. And the reason I'm saying it's a final protocol for now, guys, is that I just want to give everybody a base line protocol that they can work on for a while until they really get the feeling of channel lock. We've introduced a lot of things in the evolution of channel lock, you know, in the last few months, and that's been the evolutionary process of it, of course. And I had to do that, but I don't want to continue adding pieces to it, because you'll probably get a few things down and then you'll say, hey, JH, just put another bit in. So what I'm going to give you today is the base line protocol of channel lock. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, now the baseline protocol, guys, is clearly we play the ball off the trail foot. Why do we want to do that? Because we want to swing the club beside our body, not in front of our body, as we would if we had a forward position golf ball. We have to swing the club in front of our body. We don't want to do that. We want to swing the club beside our body in a channel. Why do we want to do that? Because we want the club coming into the ball the same way every time. And if you're swinging beside your body and you've got the correct diligent approach to the protocol, then you will have your shoulders closed when you hit the ball. Now if you have your shoulders closed when you hit the ball, you have to hit into out. So the ball is always going to be starting for right hand or a little right of your target line. Be a little push draw. The worst, it'll be a little push. But if you could just hit the ball dead straight with a push, you just work out your aiming. Guys, I'm really struggling today because I've got I've got an infected throat and I can hardly talk. And I had some lozenges here. Where are they, for heaven's sake? Can you believe that? Can you believe that? They might be here. Sorry guys, but I've had 2 days, I just haven't been able to talk and my throat feels like I've swallowed a roll of barbed wire. Anyway, we'll struggle on. So here it is, guys. The ball's back here. We want to swing in a channel. We want to have our shoulders closed when we hit the ball. We want to swing beside the body. Now the main things are that the ball, or the base tenets are that the ball must be off the back foot. Now how far off the back foot depends on your flexibility, your segment lengths, your component lengths of your body. I don't have the flexibility of Mr. X, so he can play it in a different position to me. How you set your feet up is purely and simply relative to targeting. It's going to be a struggle. This is going to be a struggle. I can hardly talk. Come on, James, come on. Okay, so the base tenets are play it back, shoulders closed. We want to have the shoulders closed when we hit it. We want to have the weight on our trail side when we hit it. We don't want to ever be moving towards the ball. Why don't we want to be moving towards the ball? Because you can't straighten your arm if you do that, guys. If you've got the ball there and you move toward the ball, you can't straighten your arm. Because this fulcrum is too far forward. You just can't straighten your arm. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we can straighten our arm. So we want to keep that fulcrum, which is trail shoulder, back. Here, when we strike. So I can straighten my arm here. I'm just going to fold that arm on the backswing. I'm going to push the club down on the backswing. Fold this arm. coming down, I'm just going to straighten that arm with the weight going down the trail vertical axis. That's all we want to do. Now anybody that's seeing channel lock for the first time, there's a lot more to it than this of course, but the people that have been going along with the program or the protocol, they can now finalise and just do this. So your foot line is up to you guys. It's open, it's free. How far you play the ball back is up to you. How close you stand to the ball is up to you. I have my arm close to my body, but you can have it out there. You don't have to have it in here like I do at all. So you've got a bit of flexibility there. So the basic protocol, guys. Ball back here, shoulders closed, what we call the 5 o'clock nose, where the nose is pointing over here. If we had a clock in front of us here at 5 o'clock, we get the nose pointing there. Clock is looking towards us here, face on, and we want to keep our nose back here, and we want to fire the club down that channel towards the golf ball, guys. Our target is not the target. Once you've set up here and you've targeted your target, you don't have to think about it anymore, because you can't influence what you're going to do. So there's no point thinking about, oh, that's my target. What you want to think about is something that you can do, and that's put this on that. So my target focus is the golf ball. It's not the target, because I've done my targeting. When I'm here, I've done my targeting. So that's all done. So now I'm going to go positive, and I'm just going to, that's my target. I'm going to fire the club at the target. Now as the club is coming into out, guys, across the line, your club face is pointing at the target. And that gives us that little bit of draw spin. Or if it's open a little bit, it'll give you a straight push. Doesn't matter. But you'll just hit the ball exactly, the ball will start in the same direction every time. Now, again, another part of the base of the channel lock protocol is feeling that the lead side doesn't rotate in the golf swing. When we come in here, it stays here, it blocks. That's what we want to feel. We want to feel that. That's how we want to feel. We want to feel this whole lead side blocking. There's a wall here, guys, and we're hitting into that wall. We don't want to take that wall and rotate it, because anytime you move your shoulder girdle, that's what your arms are connected to, and your hands are connected to your arms, and they're connected to the grip on the golf club. And if I don't die before the end of this tape, it'll be a surprise. I couldn't even talk 10 minutes ago. What I've done with my lozenges is beyond belief. What have you done with them, you idiot? Anyway, yeah, so guys, coming into the ball, it's closed down. Here, we get this feeling this lead side is a blocker. Here. After you've hit it, you'll get the release of momentum, and the body will just continue to rotate. But that's just bleeding out the force and momentum that you've built up. But at impact, you want to feel like you're blocked. That there's nothing going on but a block action. Basically this. That's what you want to feel like. That's what I want to do. That's the type of swing that I want to cultivate. Now guys, the other thing that none of you would have seen yet, but it's part of channel lock, and it's something I'm going to put into channel lock. And I've been practicing with it covertly. Mr. X hasn't seen it, nobody's seen it. But what it is, guys, is something that will help you in the backswing. To get in the channel easily in the backswing, to start the backswing. And it's this, guys. When we set up here like this, see this lead arm? Bend it as much as you can, like that. The biggest chicken wing you can get. Bend it there. When you get in here, like that, then bend it. Now watch what happens, guys, when I bend that lead arm. Watch my right arm. When I bend that, this right arm comes this way, or the trail arm comes this way. I'm here, I bend it, here. As soon as I bend it, it pushes this in here. So we're starting with basically a big chicken wing. But you don't need to worry about that, guys, because the velocity of you've got to be really strong in a golf swing to start with a chicken wing and finish with a chicken wing. Because to stop that lead arm straightening with velocity of the radius of the golf swing is nearly impossible to do. So it doesn't matter. If you look at that guy that was in the Guinness Book of Records, the guy from Denver, Jack Ham, and I was with him in Australia here when he came out in the early 90s. And he's the guy that hit the 8-iron past my driver. He hit a driver 275 yards and he hit a 8-iron 278 yards. So, but he had 163 mile an hour clubhead speed. And I think he's in the Guinness Book of Records, 473 yard carry with a 43-inch driver in 1986, an old Taylor burner, steel shaft. But Jack used to start like that. But this is not the hammer swing. He used to start there, and the reason he started there is he wanted his shoulders closed. And Jack used to do this. He used to go. Now that worked really well for him because he had an amazing golf swing and he had just incredible lag. But it helped. It was like 6'4", so 6'5", so it made a big difference. He could come down. But guys, if you understand what I'm talking about here, if this is bent, if I get in here like that, and then I just bend that, look what happened. That right arm comes in. If I bend that, this lead shoulder goes out. Now it's an automatic cocking mechanism for your shoulders. It will shut those shoulders down. But the good thing is, it gives you an automatic mechanism to get into channel on the backswing. You watch this. As soon as I get here, and I bend that, I get here, bend that. Now, just how do I start the backswing? I just straighten that lead arm. I go. I just straighten it. What about that? Just straighten it. How simple is that for a backswing thought? Just straighten the bent arm. Don't worry about it, just straighten the bent arm. Now I've been practicing with it for about 2 weeks, and I've, as I say, I've been doing it in covert fashion, and I've been hitting it like fantastic. So guys, you don't have to do that. You can just do your normal stuff. You can set up, if you want to set up here like that, with a little bit of distance in your arms there. I just find it harder to get in the channel on the backswing when I've got distance. When I'm here, I'm in the channel, and I just push it there. And that really helps me have a one-plane swing in the backswing as well. A lot of people said they would bury me on this practice tee one day, and maybe today's the day. My wife gave me this. She's had this, oh. Imagine swallowing a roll of barbed wire and then an unpeeled pineapple, and you will mildly get, only then get mildly the feeling of what my throat's like. So here we are. I'm here, I bend that. Now guys, what also happens, as soon as I bend that, look what happens. It elevates the club a little bit. It elevates it, gets it off the ground, so it hovers it a bit. It hovers it a bit. There it is there, it hovers it. And why do I want to hover it? The great ball strikers like Jack Nicklaus and Greg Norman always hovered the golf club. And I asked Jack in 1986, when he was out here for a skins game with Watson and Ballesteros and Greg Norman, I said, so I think I know why you hover the club, Jack, on the backswing. And he said, why do you think? I said, well, I've heard you say that if the ball moves, you don't incur a penalty stroke because you haven't grounded your club. But I don't think that's the real reason. I think the real reason is that if the club's on the ground like that, in order to get it going in the backswing, you've got to lift it. You've got to lift it. And how do you lift it? Lift it with your hands. So you activate your hands. So the hands become a conscious mechanism. So you're lifting it off the ground. So you're lifting it. But if you've got it sort of hovering a little bit like it is here, the club's there and there's nothing to lift. We just go into a pure swing. We just straighten that arm. And we've got momentum. We just straighten that arm and we've got momentum in the golf swing. We just straighten that arm and we've got momentum. Now the other thing, guys, in the channel, when we take it back, the checkpoint is when you get back to there, the club should be looking at the golf ball. Shouldn't be like that. Should be looking at the golf ball. Then you'll know you're in the channel. Here, should be looking. I don't go, and you won't get that severity of actuality in the golf swing, but you want to feel that. That's an intentional feel. You won't get the actuality of that because that is, you know, you really can't take the club like that. I mean, that's too severe. But you want to feel like that. You want to feel like that. So I get here and I just push it straight in that arm. Now the other thing, guys, and Bill Phillips, an MMI Golf, is doing it, and we got Bill doing it a couple of months ago, and his ball striking improved dramatically. Quite dramatically. And that is what we call the kill bill at the ball. And the kill bill is simply this, guys. That when we're in position here, we come to a standstill. Here. Nothing's going on. And we start, I don't know how long Bill stays, he might stay there 3 or 4 seconds. To get here, and then we go. And you know why we do that, guys? Because it's really hard to take the club back jerkily or quickly from a dead stop position. I've only ever seen 3 golfers in the history of golf, in tour golf, actually have the club completely stationary at address. And they're all great ball strikers. And one was Seve, and the other one was Jose Maria Olazabal, and the other one is Lee Westwood. Now those guys in the conventional swing, they're here, guys. They're just completely immobile, and then they've got this beautiful takeaway in the backswing, and it's the same rate, what we call a CRPM, constant rate per motion. They take it away at exactly the same speed. But if you get here, yeah, and you're fiddling with the hands and they're bouncing, and I get like that. If you're doing that, fiddling and bouncing, you know, the fiddle and bounce will vary, and you'll take it away at a different rate per motion. There'll be a DRPM. We want a CRPM, a constant rate per motion. So simplicity, guys. Just get in here. Even if when we're here and we just bend that elbow, just hold it here. And I actually showed this to the guys here that were here yesterday, Mr. X and my other buddy. And we were doing, I was showing them that. And they couldn't believe the difference it made to their golf swing. They were quite stunned. Because both of them, well, Mr. X not so much, but my other buddy, I mean, he's very handsy and gets really quick. But you can't get quick from a stop position. Okay, let's go through the protocol. The final protocol for now, okay. It is ball off the back foot. How much? It's up to you. I like to play it. Wow, big bird. I like to play it there. I then load into the trail side. Load in the trail side. I feel on my weight down that trail side. I want to feel it down that trail side in the whole golf swing. Now how close you stand to the golf ball, guys, is up to you. And if you get in here like I do, you get here, there like that, and then you do that, you may have to just shuffle forward a little bit to get to the golf ball. But that's just testing and fiddling and tweaking. Okay, so we've got the ball position. Right, now the other prerequisite is we must have the shoulders pre-turned. Why do we want them pre-turned? Because we want the club to go that way. If they're not pre-turned, it'll go that way. We'll go sideways. We don't want to go sideways. We want to go rearwards. This swing is a rearwards thinking, outwards thinking golf swing. It's not a backwards, forwards golf swing. It's a rearwards, outwards. It'll feel like that, but it won't be that severe. All right, so here we are. Now I'm working with this. I've got that there. Now to start the backswing for me, if you want to have the bent lead arm, just straighten it. Just straighten it. And depending on your flexibility, guys, how much you flare that foot, how much you turn that foot. I like to flare it a little bit because I'm not very flexible in my ankle or my knee or my groins, so I try and flare that right foot out a little bit. So that's about my base position there. And my stance is quite narrow, as you can see. Here. So here I am here, and then I just do this. Gets the club up, then kill bill, 5 o'clock nose, straighten the arm. Then the downswing, guys, is basically an arm drop. The arms just drop out of the sky. You don't have to try and turn your hips. They will start to turn automatically, but you don't want that going on, because if that goes on, it takes this, takes the shoulders, takes your arms, takes your hands, takes the golf club. We don't want any of that. when we get to the top of the golf swing here, the club just drops. Now see, as I drop it, this is going that way. And in any golf swing that's torqued up correctly, that part of the body will start the downswing. You don't want to be starting it with the hands. You certainly want the club going that way. You want it here. So I get here, and then I just bend that lead elbow, then I just straighten it. Just straighten that lead elbow here. And then on the downswing, I just drop it. Drop it down. I feel the weight going straight down into the arch of my foot there. And that's where I want to be. And if I can pull with my lead hand hard on the downswing, the more you can pull with your lead hand, the more the left shoulder will stay closed. It'll just do that. Because you watch that, guys, when you do that, the lead shoulder doesn't want to roll. But when you do that, the trail shoulder wants to come out and just roll the shoulder girdle. But if I just get to here and I just pull that, look, if I just pull that, this lead shoulder wants to stay there, stay up and stay closed. So that's the basic protocol. The final protocol for now. Probably a couple of things I've probably forgotten. And if I'm going to do a couple of other videos, if it doesn't rain, there's a bit of storm here. If I remember them, I'll put them in. I'll just have a look at my notes. Getting old, guys, I've got to write stuff down these days. We've had some terrible audio problems here, guys. We're right beside the big microwave towers here for the airport. Kill Bill. Okay. Now what's important, guys, when we take and we've got all the other protocol in place, remember it's an unloaded lead side. Everything revolves around the trail axis, because that's our dominant axis, and that trail arm is the one that we want to use. So if we're going to take the club back here, if we go from bent arm here to straight arm here, and we've got a bent trail arm at the top of the swing, all we want to do is straighten that trail arm. Straighten that trail arm. You want that trail arm straightened by the time it gets to the golf ball. And you can only do that, guys. The reason I want you to do that is because you have to keep that trail fulcrum back, which is that shoulder. If you move that forward, you can't straighten your right arm. And that means you've gone forward and your shoulders are open a little bit. But if you can actually straighten your right arm at impact, that means that you've actually you've kept your trail shoulder back. So here we are. I'm in here. I got the bent elbow. I put it here. I get the what we call the Kill Bill. I just straighten that arm. Look, that's fantastic, guys. You go from bent to straight. Look what it does. And the good thing is, guys, it pushes the club down. There's no lifting. There's no elevating. I'll do it from here. Here. It pushes the club down in the backswing. Biggest problem you can make in any golf swing is to go from here and just lift the club up. You get separation of the arms, which is no good for channel lock because it becomes too big a differential in the shoulder plane to the arm plane, and you've got to coordinate those. But in this swing here, in the channel lock, here, when I just straighten that arm there, look, club pushes down, and it stays low, and then when I turn around, you can see my lead arm, it's in line with my shoulder girdle. So guys, when we're saying that this is the base, this is the final protocol for now. It'll evolve a little bit down the track, but I just want you to go through those basic tenets and base principles of channel lock, and just keep working on those. Just get those down pat, work with those. Once you've got those, probably in a month or so, I'll have probably the final. If there is a final. I'm pretty close to where I want to be now. The way I've been hitting it, I can't really think that I can hit it that much better. So, yeah, the final will come, but at the moment, we'll say this is the final protocol for now. This is new, guys. This is... oh dear, oh dear. This is really new, look. But watch that. Simple as. What a great way to get the backswing started. And what a great way to get downward pressure. You can't straighten that arm and lift the golf club. It doesn't work that way. As soon as you straighten that arm, it pushes the club down. Which is why I think I instinctively came up with the idea. But I did think back to my old mate Jack Ham. The way he used to push it down. He was very low and very inside and had a lot of pressure on the club for a long way. But he had a very long golf swing. But he used to play the ball up here, of course. Okay, just go over it once more, James. Okay, the ball is back there, off the right foot, wherever you want to have it. Trail foot. Okay, it's up to you where you put it. The stance is up to you. The width of the stance is up to you. How much you have your arms away is up to you. I just like to have them here, close, because I find it just easier to get in the channel. Very easy with my arms close to my body. Now the other thing, of course, is we get here and we're going to find out what might be 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 4, 5 seconds. Depends what it is for your timing mechanism. We get here, then we're just going to go. And we just drop that club, guys. We just drop it, and as we start to drop it, we just think about straightening that trail arm. We just want to straighten it. And I'm going to do a video after this on leverage. But that's how you really do lever a golf club and create leverage. It's just straightening that trail arm. Okay guys, I don't know what the audio is like. I've got a sneaking suspicion it won't be good. We're just at the victim of all these microwave towers here, and we're on the airport approach path, and they've got the big, the landing radar and all that sort of stuff. And of course all these audios are on mobile phone or cell phone frequencies, so you pick up everything. So I really couldn't be in a worse place. But the other day, when we had all that on those other videos, that sound was because we had a lot of, obviously a lot of microwave action going on. Okay guys, I can't think of anything else to say, but this is the final protocol for now. Have a look at that. Give me some feedback. If you want information on it, just give me some feedback. I'm going to do a couple of other videos, so a few other things might overlap. But that is the final protocol for now.